substantive question is, we're giving each candidate 2 minutes to answer, and why don't we begin actually with the District 2 folks and Mr. Davis, and then we can move around through District 3 and 4 and back this way. We'll just kind of mix it up. So, Mr. Davis will begin the question for all the candidates. How and where the county grows impacts the quality of schools, commute times, and property taxes. How can Charles County grow and protect residents' quality of life and the environment? So, Mr. Davis.
Okay. How we can grow? We have to grow smart. Smart growth is the way to go. We cannot continue the way they was doing things in the homeowners association that I bought in. If I took you there right now, I can take you to 49 route growth. We cannot do that. Okay. Now, how we can grow? We can do it through public safety. I believe at the table, I believe our sheriff department should have a seat at the table long before a plan come to fruition to start. Once they get the plan, the sheriff should be there for an approval. Not only the sheriff, the fire and rescue people. There are areas in my subdivision that the fire and rescue people couldn't get to it in an emergency. And some of those are still in the pipeline. And we have to bring that in. We have to control that kind of growth. Thank you.
Jason Henry, candidate for District 2. For growth, we need to have smart growth. We need to have a plan to grow the county. If we don't want to build houses, then we need to look at our commercial base. We need to retain the businesses that are already here, as well as attract businesses that provide county residents of being able to earn a livable wage, and that's key. Fast foods are fine, but families cannot live off of fast food salads, as well as retail salads. We need to invite and recruit businesses that will provide a livable wage. It's important that we do those things. We have to have smart growth. Like I said, we have to build communities that can sustain themselves so they do not have to travel all through the county. It's unfortunate that a lot of attention has been dedicated to Waldorf, but you leave Indian Head as the plywood capital of the county because everything is boarded up. It's a shame. It's a shame that Indian Head does not have a grocery store, does not have a bank, and so individuals have to go to Bryan's Road, the Plata, and Waldorf. So we need to figure out growth that allows every community the ability to be successful.
Charles McClam, Commissioner candidate for District 2. I believe that we can protect growth by establishing community advisory commissions within each district, whereas they would have input into the larger plan for the county in terms of growth and development. Also, believe that we can get our hands around the pollution and congestion that you see every day on 301, 228 by working with the state where it's appropriate to get additional funds, but also looking at ways to open HOV lanes, to create an HOV lane on 301, whereas that allows for free flow of traffic that carries multiple passengers in the car or buses. Additionally, one of the things coming out of the federal government as a federal executive for 20 some odd years, there's an opportunity to work with the U.S. Office of Personnel Management, whereas we take transit subsidies and give it back to the government, provided they give employees an opportunity to telework from home. So you have less traffic on the road, you have reduced CO2 emissions going into the environment, and you have an opportunity to bring in additional businesses, working with leadership across the county, working with the Community Advisory Commission to help inform growth and development and prevents sprawl and sprawl. That's what we should look at as an overall blueprint for the county to make sure that everyone's input is taken into account before we go and build more townhomes, more homes in Western Maryland, more homes on the eastern side of 301. We need to figure out a way to collaborate and work smarter together. Thank you.
John Ashburn, District 3 candidate. I haven't knocked on 1,000 doors, thousands and thousands of doors in this county. I heard a large number of African Americans express concerns about questionable building practices in this county. Historically, building in the state of Maryland, hazardous storage and manufacturing is built in minority and poor districts in the state, and many feel that the focus should be placed on cleaning up hazardous waste. No one's going to mention this to you, but there's a good example of the old and abandoned gas stations in this county that are polluting the water table in the aquifer. This is something that's not new, but it's an old concern that's not been completely addressed. And a lot of these gas stations are sitting there with no one to occupy them because they cannot get a permit because the ground is too dirty and it's polluting the water. And as your county commissioner, I will continue to reach out to you and spend many hours a month listening to what your concerns are. And concerns that will get addressed. Have dialogue, one-on-one with dialogue in the neighborhoods where you feel comfortable, give you time to express yourself. Not everybody at the town hall gets their questions picked or feels comfortable speaking in public. And I promise you that I will be available to you 50 hours a week plus. Thank you.
So when you talk about growth and how do we manage growth for Charles County, this is what we've done during this administration. One of the important things was passing the WCD. And I understand there's a lot of misinformation out there, but one thing we need to understand in the county, it's not about no growth. We are going to grow. And even St. Charles alone, you're looking at another 6,000 homes that's going to come just based on docket 9. But because of the hard work that we did with the new company, it's only 6,000 because before that, it was about 9 to 10,000. So we reduced the number of houses that's going to be built in St. Charles. So that's about controlled growth. We need to make sure that when we grow, we're focusing on the residential growth, but we're also focusing on the businesses. That is why we are strengthening, we have strengthened, we will continue to strengthen our economic development department. When we came into office, it was almost non-existent. And so when you talk about bringing in commercial businesses, you need to have a program in place that will allow and to support those actions to occur. The areas in the WCD, this comp plan is 10 years. That area, it probably will change in another 10 years, or 20 years, and 30 years. It's not about no growth. It's about stopping sprawl development so we can make sure we can pay the bills that we make. Please understand, family legacy amendments were included in the comp plan. If you have land you want to give to your children or grandchildren, you can. But again, we talk about miscommunications or misinformation. There's a lot of people who believe that they can't give their property to their children, and that's just not true. Don't take my word for it. Read the documents yourself. Call the Planning and Growth Department, ask for a meeting, have them come out to you, and I'll come to your community meetings, and we can bring the documents, and so you can see for yourself. Thank you.
I'm Derek Terry. I want to make sure I stay within my 2 minutes. So protecting the environment and as well as the community is very important to our natural habitat, particularly our humans. And when we think about how are we going to do this as a community, two things come in mind. Yes, the land, but also business development. So regardless of how you spend it, you can have all the houses you want. If you don't have anything to generate the revenue, all our natural resources have to be protected and something has to be paid for. And most likely that's either going to be out of our property taxes, income taxes, and our commercial base tax. What you want to really try to focus on is how do we find that balance. I live in District 3. I visit, parts of the county, but when I live in District 3, everything is concentrated in District 3. So when you want something, everything comes in District 3. So when we talk about the Economic Development Committee, those are things that could have been in place from day one. Because now you have all this residential community with nothing for people to do. And one of the things that we need to focus on is how do we build our business relationships to thus protect the environment, to bring about, a quality of life that everyone can be happy with. And, when I look at Charles County, we have three types of people. We have anti-growth, we have pro-growth, and we have smart growth. We all need to focus on smart growth, and anything that comes about when it comes to residential development, leave those decisions up to the residents and let them make the decision versus the government.
Greg Warren, District 3. We can protect our quality of life. We can increase our quality of life with balance. What we have now, if you look around, if you ask Waldorf residents, what we have now, it's not smart growth. Right now, we're shoehorning our residential development and most of our commercial development into Waldorf. And as a result, you have residents on other sides of the county. If you head to La Plata, Bryan's Road, trying to avoid Waldorf traffic, trying to run their errands in different routes. You have our neighbors to the north of Brandywine taking advantage of this by an economic development policy right at our edge that's taking opportunities, business opportunities away from Waldorf. So Waldorf needs relief. We need alternative development corridors. We need to be serious when the comp plan says, let's leverage our villages and our towns. Let's be serious about that. Let's provide some resources to Indian Head. Let's give those residents on the western side services, basics, right? And some amenities and entertainment options as well. The western side's not asking for more homes, right? They enjoy the small, quaint, hometown feel. I have a lot of family in Indian Head, right? I'll see my grandmother in Woodland Village tomorrow. But they need basic services. So we need to force our economic growth or provide more economic growth on that western side. Give Waldorf the relief it needs, but provide some opportunities that the western side deserves. Thank you.
Again, my name is Diana Sweat, and I'm running for Commissioner in District 4. Let me talk about first the growth and the economic development. The environment. That's easily resolved with smart growth. If we do smart growth as smart growth philosophy is that we educate, we advocate, and we facilitate what a community should look like, then we wouldn't have this conversation. But because we don't do that, we need to have it, right? So quality of life. We have serious quality of life issues because 40 to 50% of our people leave every morning around 5:30 to go into the district or into neighboring counties for employment. So I am a military person, so I deal with data. And so I did a little bit of research here. And so the University of Maryland Charles Regional Medical Center is owned by University of Maryland Medical System. This is a $3.5 billion business that's here in Charles County. Now, they're a not-for-profit organization, so they didn't come here to make money. They came here because Charles County has something that they were willing to come to bring business to. So this is a model that we need to sit down and talk with them and ask them, why did you choose Charles County to come to? $3.5 billion, and we're trying to figure out how to bring jobs into the county. We have a company that's, I'm gonna say it again, $3.5 billion. That is a lot of jobs that we can have here in the county. I'm one of those 50% people that travel out of the county every day. And I have seen in my 10 years of living here, my commute has increased 45 to an hour. I would love to move back to Charles County. I have the skill sets here that would allow Charles County to grow. We are allowing all of our workforce experience to go to another county to another state, into the district, instead of staying here and making us the best we can. Thank you.
Can someone grab the mic and send it down to Commissioner Collins? Thanks. And while we do, I'll acknowledge